There's a couple rumors I've heard about Black Widow, about how they're going to bring her back. And one thing's for sure, they're definitely going to bring her back because she has a movie coming out. But the question is it going to be a prequel or a regular timeline? And I noticed during Endgame, they almost point out to you a very, very easy way they can bring her back. And this is my theory on how they're going to do that.
I want one. No.
Alright, grab a peek at Vision's conversation bubble. There are spoilers for Infinity War and Endgame. And if you haven't seen Infinity War yet, then I recommend you go watch it because it's excellent. Okay, let's start. Ah, whoops, wrong movie. But I actually started this video about a month ago. That's why when I said it could be a prequel, well, we now know it actually is a prequel. And that makes sense.
Should have gone for the head.
So half the universe is wiped out. Thanos is happily retired. Captain Marvel comes across the Milano. No, not that Milano. That Milano. Let's start again. Captain Marvel happens to come across Nebula and Iron Man floating in deep space and rescues them. Down a whole bunch of heroes, but what do they decide to do? Damn Skippy. Okay, long story short, they hop on the Milano, find Thanos' planet after he used the stones again and found he was alone. But there's a problem. The stones are gone, and in a touching moment between Thanos and Nebula...
Thank you, daughter. Perhaps I treated you too harshly.
Thank you, Johnny-come-lately.
What did you do? I went for the head.
On a side note, Scott Lang, or Ant-Man, just came back from the quantum realm, and half the population's gone. Now, I don't know about you, but me, if I see some creepy kid
What the hell happened here?
staring at me with those eyes, remembering Children of the Corn, I'm bashing that kid's brains in. Okay, back to the theory. Ant-Man has been trapped in the quantum realm for the last 5 years. When he gets out, he goes to the Avengers headquarters to propose his idea.
There was a way that we could enter the quantum realm at a certain point in time, but then exit the quantum realm at another point in time.
It was his idea to travel to the past and recover the stones.
Time heist? The stones are in the past. We could go back, we could get them.
We can snap our own fingers, we can bring everybody back.
And that's exactly what they set out to do. It was during the test run that they found out you could bring things back from the past into the present. During the official time heist, here's a couple examples. Thanos' ship with Nebula, Thanos,
Alternative is death.
the Black Order, and Gamora on board. For now, we're going to skip over some of the plot holes, like how they return the Tesseract and the Loki Spear to the original timelines, because they no longer have his spear or the Tesseract.
Yeah, I know.
Loki scepter must be here.
Put the scepter in your hand. Now the scepter. You got
It's the, magic wand.
During their mission to retrieve the Infinity Stones, the Ancient One explains to Professor Hulk alternate timelines, which becomes sort of a cosmic loophole.
The Infinity Stones create what you experience as the flow of time. Remove one of the stones, and that flow splits.
And by the way, this scene proves that Loki is still alive. He grabs the Tesseract, disappears, and changes his future. No, Jeremy Renner, you win, because this is by far the best sequence you've ever done in the MCU. You know what I like best about this scene is the way they showed his character just so devoted to sacrificing himself to retrieve the stone. So good job. But things don't go as planned. The Avengers have all the Infinity Stones. Cap and Iron Man's first attempt to retrieve the stone ended in failure, so they had to travel back in time even further to recover more pin particles, and watch how many he takes. While they're in the past, they're gathering the stones. Thor grabs Mjolnir while he's there, which is further evidence they can pull items out of the past.
Come on, we gotta go. 3, 2, What am I looking at?
Oh, sometimes it takes a second.
So heavy.
So, despite a few mishaps, they regain all the stones, and they come back through the time tunnel.
Clint, where's Nat? She's not coming back. We have to make it worth it. We have to. We will.
I think it was right there that Captain America decides he's going back to the past at the end of this to rescue Black Widow. And he's got a secret weapon nobody else knows about.
Let's do it.
That is, if he survives. So now it's simply a matter of snapping their own fingers, bring everybody back.
His alternative is death.
And again, that's exactly what they do. But within seconds of the Hulk snapping his fingers, Thanos launches an all-out attack on the Avengers headquarters. And the stakes are even higher.
Now, I know what I must do. I will shred this universe down to its last atom.
What happens next? The best 45 seconds of movie magic for comic book fans in the history of the world. I'll tell you, as far as I'm concerned, Captain America yielding Mjolnir is one of the most highly anticipated action scenes in recorded history. And before I go through the final details of my theory, I want you to take a look at this iconic moment. Captain America is standing alone against the entire might of Thanos' army. That's one of the most visually satisfying scenes of all time.
How long is this going to take? For him, as long as he needs. For us, 5 seconds.
It's here I wanted to point out the plot holes about him not having the staff
Ready, Cap?
or the
Reach
Tesseract.
back here, okay? You bet. Going quantum. 3, 2, 1. And returning in 5, 4, 3.
This scene is the most important part of my theory. Okay, right here, somebody flies past Cap's timestamp. So the question is, who?
I don't know. He blew right by his timestamp. He should be here.
Based on this look by Bucky, I'm pretty sure he suspected that Cap was staying in the past. Okay, remember the 2 extra pin particles Cap had? Well, what prevented him from going in the past and giving them to Black Widow, and giving her specific instructions at that point? Now, at the time, Cap had no idea Hank Pym would be, resurrected. He doesn't have to convince anybody to play God or mess with the past or future. But the only real question is, when did Black Widow end up? And that's my theory about how Black Widow will return.